It usually starts on an ordinary afternoon. You open a closet you have not touched in years, and there it all is, the clothes you never wear, the cables that connect to devices you no longer own, the gifts you kept out of guilt, the boxes you moved from one home to the next without ever opening. And standing there, something strange happens, a quiet pull. Not to organize it, to be rid of it. That empty room is what part of you is secretly craving. And the reason has nothing to do with cleaning. Because what feels like the urge to tidy up is actually one of the oldest signals your nervous system knows how to send. And once you understand what your brain is really asking for, you will never look at your clutter the same way again. Every object you own occupies space in two places. One is your home. The other is your mind. Neuroscientist Sabine Kastner has spent her career studying attention and how the brain processes the visual world. Her research reveals something that reframes the way we think about our possessions. Your brain does not ignore the objects around you. It processes them, constantly, silently. Every item in your field of vision competes for a small piece of your attention, whether you are aware of it or not. A cluttered room is not just a cluttered room. It is a room quietly issuing hundreds of tiny demands on a brain that evolved in a world with almost nothing in it. For nearly all of human history, a person owned only what they could carry. Your ancestors moved through the world light, a few tools, a garment, something to hunt with. A room stacked with objects you do not use and cannot even name would have been completely foreign to the nervous system you inherited. Your brain was built for emptiness, and emptiness, to that brain, meant something specific. It meant safety, readiness, nothing hidden, nothing owed, nothing to manage. But here's where it becomes even stranger. Because the weight of your possessions is not only about attention. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, who spent decades studying what makes people feel alive, found that objects carry something invisible. He called it psychic energy. Every possession you own is tied to a small thread of your attention and identity. The gift you feel guilty about. The item that reminds you of who you used to be. The thing you keep in case you become a different person someday. Each one holds a thread, and every thread pulls, gently, all the time. When you throw something away, you are not just removing an object. You are cutting a thread, releasing a small amount of the energy that object had quietly been holding hostage. This is why decluttering can feel unexpectedly emotional. Why people cry over an old box of things. Why letting go of an object can feel like letting go of a version of yourself. And it is why, on the other side of it, people describe something that sounds almost too simple to be real. Lightness. Researcher Joseph Ferrari, who has studied the psychology of clutter for years, found that the people surrounded by the most stuff consistently report the highest stress and the lowest sense of control over their lives. And when they let go of what they did not need, the change was not just physical. It was psychological. A measurable rise in well-being. A restored sense of agency. Because every object you release is a decision you finally get to stop making. A small open loop your brain can finally close. So the happiness you feel when you throw things away is not about the empty shelf. It is about the freed attention, the cut thread, the quiet return to the state your nervous system was always built for. You were never meant to carry all of this, not the objects, not the guilt attached to them. Not the past versions of yourself you have been storing in boxes, waiting for permission to release. The urge to let go is not you being wasteful. It is the oldest, wisest part of you remembering what it feels like to be free.